Good morning, students. Today, the topic is Introduction to Research Methodology. As you know, what does research means? Basically, the word research has been derived from the Latin word combination of two words, read plus search. Research means when you are going to revise the concepts again. In general refers to research means the search of knowledge, a systematic search for relevant information on a specific topic. It is an art of scientific investigation that that it's basically an art how you can investigate using different techniques and technology. It is a careful investigation or inquiry, especially through search for new facts in any branch of knowledge. Whitman and Murray define research as a systematized effort to gain new knowledge. Means research means, as I have already told you, it's a combination of two words. You read plus search means gaining the concept or gaining the conceptual knowledge again. Research is a movement from the known to the unknown, a voyage of discovery. Voyage of discovery means where you are going to discover. It's a route where you're going to discover a new facts, right? Clifford Wooding defines research as it comprises defining and redefining problems, formulating hypotheses or suggested solutions, collecting, organizing, and evaluating data, making deductions, and reaching conclusions. And last, carefully testing the conclusions to determine whether the effective formulating hypothesis or not. These are the basic definition that defines research. As I've already told you, research is the combination of different definitions. It's a process, it's a procedure, it's a technique where you can get the renowned or the identified knowledge. Here are the objectives of research. Basic purpose of research is to discover answers through the application of scientific procedures. The main aim of research is to find out the truth, whether the concept is having the proper knowledge or not, and what type of facts are hidden and which has not been discovered yet. Research objectives consider the following broad groupings: explorative and formative research studies. That means when you're going to gain a familiarity phenomena with a phenomena to see the insights into it. Second one is descriptive research studies. With the word itself, you're going to clear your mind, in your mind declare that descriptive means when you are going to deal with the concept that gives you the knowledge in a described manner, detailed manner, to depict accurately the characteristics of a particular individual, situation, or group. When you're going to describe or depict the important characteristics of an individual, what kind of situation, group. Next one is diagnostic research study. Diagnostic research study determines the frequency with which something occurs or with which it is associated with something else. Diagnostic means is to check, to interrogate that at what amount something is there, right? And some facts are there, and you are associated with something, right? Next one is hypothesis testing research study. To test the hypothesis of a causal. Hypothesis, it's a assumptions. When the concepts are based on assumption that you have assumed something about anything, that means you're testing the hypothesis of a causal relationship between the variables, right? Here are the characteristics, or we can say the features of research. Research is directed towards the solution of the problem. When you're gaining a new insights about something, then definitely you are moving towards the problem. You're moving towards the solution of a problem, right? You're finding out the solution of a problem. It is basically based on observable experience or empirical evidence. It demands accurate observation and description. It involves gathering new data from primary sources or using existing data from new data. Research activities are basically characterized by careful design procedures. They are designed in a very good structure, and portfolios are there where you get new knowledge that how the work, how this problem is being resolved. Research requires the expertise, extreme necessity to carry out investigation. Definitely, every person who is going to conduct any research, then he has to do the detailed investigation about that particular topic. Otherwise, the things are not going. You will not get the good results or the positive results about anything. Right? Research is objective and logical. Definitely, it is objective. How? Because you have to apply every possible test to validate the data that you have collected and provide and reaching towards the conclusions. Research involves a quest for answers to unsolved problems. It requires courage, which is characterized by patient and unhurried activity. Definitely, the person who are conducting research has he or she has to be very patient because he has gone through a deep conceptual knowledge. You have to find so many facts. You have to be very patient, right? Just carefully record it. How you can conduct a good research, or how you can go to research that is very much beneficial for your company, for your organization, for your product, right? Basic purpose clearly defined. The purpose of research, why you are doing a research, should be clearly defined. It to process research process through which you are going to conduct a research. That process should be detailed ones, right? It should not be brief ones. It should be detailed. Research design thoroughly planned. High ethical standards should be applied. Limitations frankly revealed. You're not going to hide or you're not going to conceal anything that is not going good with the research. You're going to reveal the hidden concepts because they, with that particular disclosing, we get to know how you can overcome those problems. Adequate analysis for decision maker needs. Finding presented unambiguously. Conclusion justified. Definitely, when you're going to do a good research, you will get your answers for the problems and your conclusion are justified. You will get the justification towards the problem, right? Researchers' experience reflected. Every person who is doing the research, he or she, the way he or she do the research, her experience reflects everything. Here we are having qualities of good research. The research should be in a sequence. You're going to follow a process. Without that particular process, you will not reach your results. With the logic, second one is logical. With logic, you can do it the good research. Otherwise, it will go waste. Empirical means your research is going to be based on the experiments, on the examples. With particular examples, illustration, the solution to a problem will be more clear to the person who is going to assess that particular findings. Replicable, there should not be repetitive facts should not be there. Duplication should not be there in a research, otherwise it will not be a good research. Creative ones, use multiple methods. We're going to use different methods to do that research. Who is going to motivate you for doing your research? There are possible motives for doing research. As everyone is having different motives to do a research. No one is having a similar motive. That someone get motivated from particular thing that why apple is falling, right? Why there is a gravity. Okay. So there are certain reasons from where the person, the individual get motivated and they start at their research, right? First one is that to get a research degree along with its consequential benefits. You should know that you are going to achieve something while doing the research. You should get a degree and definitely will do a research. Desire to face a challenge in solving unsolved problems. Desire to get intellectual joy of doing something. Intellectual joy means that you are getting your intellectual skills, your intelligence will be increased. Desire to be of service to society. Desired get respectability, other motivating factors like directives of government, employment conditions, curiosity about new things, desire to understand possibilities in social thing and everything. These are all certain factors that motivate the person to do the research in a better way. Here we are having some types of research. First one is descriptive versus analytical. Second one is applied versus fundamental. Third one is quantitative versus qualitative. Fourth one is conceptual versus empirical. And other types of research, we are having so many other types, different types, except those the descriptive, analytical, quantitative, and conceptual ones are one-time research. longitudinal research, historical research, diagnostic research, experimental research, and exploratory research. Here, we are having first one that is descriptive versus analytical research. From the word itself, the they're using the word descriptive. What do you mean by descriptive? Descriptive means when you're going to do the research in a really detailed manner, detailed manner with proper examples, with proper solutions, you can say, where you can do the surveys, in fact, finding inquiries of data. The major purpose of descriptive research is to considering the different affairs and as it exists at present, if they are present, right? The main characteristics of this method is that researcher has no control of the variable. Descriptive means everything goes with proper description. You can get each and every knowledge in your hand with just proper examples and experiments, with conclusions, where you are not giving, where you are not having any doubt, not get any doubt, right? Researchers discover causes even when they cannot control the variables. Get their causes discoverable when they are not having any control on their variables. The methods of research utilized in descriptive research are several methods. What kind of methods you are going to research in? You're going to use in this descriptive research. There are first one is several methods. That includes two types of methods: comparative and correlation methods. Right. Next one is analytical research. Analytical research is a word derives from the word analysis, where you're going to analyze something, that why this is happening or why this is not happening in the organization, right? And for that, analytical research means that has to use the facts and information already available. The information are available with you, and you are gonna analyze these to make a critical evaluation of the material. You're going to evaluate the thing in a very good manner. Second one is applied versus fundamental. Applied research means that aims at finding a solution. Applied means when you're going to provide a solution to a problem, immediate problem. You know, this is a problem and you're going to give the solution to that problem. What kind of problem the society is facing, or industrial business organization, you will give just the solution to that problem, immediate solution to a problem. Central basic aim of this research is applied means just apply the solution, apply the thing to a problem, right? Then definitely take a research. Example of applied research is that aims at certain conclusions when you can face a concrete social or business problem, where you're going to identify the social, economic, or political trends. They may affect a particular institution or the corporate research or the marketing research or organization. These are basic examples of the areas or the genre where you're going to apply the applied research. Fundamental research, fundamental means is the basic, the starting research, mainly concerned with the generalization of the facts and formulation of the theory. Right? It's not that giving a solution to a problem, it's a basic from where you're going to start it and everything going through and then definitely you'll find the problem and after that you'll get a solution to that problem. Fundamental research is directed towards finding information that has a broad base of applications. Examples of fundamental research are that it is concerned with, is more concerned about natural phenomena relating to core mathematics, carried on with a view to make generalizing about human behavior. Next one is quantitative versus qualitative. Quantitative research is derived from the word quants, quantity, with the numbers, right? When you're going to do the research on the basis of the measurement of quantity or amount, on the basis of numbers, right? It is applicable to phenomena that can be expressed in terms of quantity. It is used to quantify the problem by way of generating numerical data or data that can be transformed into usable statistics. It is used to quantify altitudes, opinions, behaviors, and other kinds of results and generalize results from a larger sample population. Quantitative research uses measurable data to combine facts and uncover patterns in research. In quantitative data collection methods is a more structured Then the quantitative means everything is in number. You know that why this problem is there, what number, yeah, you will get the measurement that 70% this problem is considered. We are going to consider 70% of it, right? And we are going to give the solution according to that. When you know that the right quantity, you can definitely use it for target research. Is that clear? Next one is qualitative data collection methods include various forms of service, online service, paper service, mobile service, kiosk service, face-to-face interview, telephonic interview, longitudinal studies, website interceptors, online calls, and such like that. These are the methods where you're going to do the quantitative research, condition method. Next one is qualitative research. It is concerned with qualitative phenomena that relates to or involving quality or a kind. That is primarily exploratory research. Quality means when you're going to when we are just going to tell the quality of that particular thing, right? We're not going deep down into it. It's used to gain an understanding of underlying reasons, opinions, and motivations, right insights in the problem or helps to the guidance or hypothesis. It is also used to inform trends and thoughts and opinions. We're going to just uncover why this is happening. You're just considering why. You're not considering how much, right? In qualitative data collection methods that varies using unstructured or semi-structured techniques. Some common methods include focus groups, individual interviews, participation, sample size is typically small, and respondents are selected to fulfill a given quota. According to the quota, you're going to select the respondents, right? Next one is conceptual versus empirical. Conceptual research is that related to some abstract idea or theory. Based on conceptual means on this of concepts. We're going through the results on the basis of your pre-collected facts. It is generally used by philosophers, thinkers who have new concepts or to interpret existing ones. Empirical research relies on experiences, observations, database research on the basis of experiments or the data you have collected before. It must provide himself with a working hypothesis or guess as to probable results, what kind of results will be. He then works to get enough facts to prove or disapprove his hypothesis. He then sets up experimental designs which he thinks will manipulate the persons or the materials concerned so as to bring forth the desired information. Evidence gathered through experiments, through empirical studies, is today considered to be the most powerful support of support for empirical practice. Other types of research, one-time research is that from the word itself, it is clear that's where you're going to do the research for a single time period, right? Longitudinal means several time periods. With different time periods, you're going to do the research. Diagnostic research is also called clinical research, which aims at identifying the causes of problems, frequency with which it occurs, possible solutions for it. Exploratory research is a preliminary study of an unfamiliar problem about which the researcher has little or no knowledge it is aimed to gain. So gain the familiarity with the problem, generate new ideas, and make a precise combination of problems. Experimental research is designed to assess the effect of one particular variable on a phenomenon. Experimental means if you have conducted one experiment, that what that particular experiment impacts on another variable. Historical research is a study of past records, and other information sources with a view to find out the origin and development of a phenomenon and to discover the trends in the past in order to understand the present and to anticipate the future ones. As a basic some problems, if there's having any advantage of anything, then definitely this advantages are go side by side. So we are having the same problems of research. Yeah, the first one is not similar to the science. Research process, the research methodologies, we cannot compare it completely with the scientific methods and techniques. Some factors are controllable, some are uncontrollable. And those uncontrollable factors are not being that much satisfied factors that go perfect with the research. So it will create some problem for the research. Human tendency, every analyzer, interpreter, do their work according to their tendency, according to their human brain and all, right? Time and money. Lack of computerization, someone is not having any computer knowledge and he is not going to perform the work in the right manner and right track, right? Second, next one is lack of scientific training in the methodology of research, insufficient interaction between universities, science departments, and business establishments, lack of confidence on the part of business units to give the information, lack of code of conduct, difficulty of adequate and timely secretarial assistance, poor library management and functioning, difficulty of timely availability of published data, ignorance if the factors are not considered, they get ignored, many research doesn't go well, research for the sake of research limited practical utility, though they may use high samples of data. If you're considering your practical utility, but you are just not considering the different methods, you're going just based. So these are the problems in research. Next, we're having two types of approaches, research approaches, quantitative and qualitative. Research approach, the first one is quantitative, inferential, experimental, and simulation. Second one is qualitative. That particular approach is not having any bifurcation methods. Bifurcated. First one is qualitative approach. Quantitative approach deals with the generation of data in quantitative form, which can be subjected to the rigorous quantitative analysis in a formal and a rigid fashion. Right? It can be further classified into inferential approach, experimental approach, simulation approach. Where this approach is being divided into three parts. Purpose of inferential approach is to research to form a database. Inferential means where you can inferential means that particular thing is the basics from where you are going to do the research, on the basis of which you are going to do the research. You have prepared a database and from which you are going to infer characteristics or relationship of a population. This usually means our research where sample of population studied to determine characteristics and is then inferred that the population has the same characteristics. Experimental approach is characterized by some much greater control over the research environment, and in this case, some variables are manipulated to observe their effect on other variables. Simulation approach involves the construction of an artificial. Simulation means where you're going to do the artificial, where you're going to create an artificial environment within which relevant information data can be generated. This permits an observation of dynamic behavior of a system under controlled conditions. Simulation approach is useful in building models for understanding future conditions. Next one is qualitative approach. Qualitative approach is research is concerned with the subjective assessment of attitudes, opinions, and behavior. In such a situation, is a function of researchers' insights and impressions. Such an approach to research generates results either in non-qualitative form or in the form which are not subjected to rigorous quantitative analysis. Generally, the techniques of focus groups, interviews, predictive techniques, and depth interviews are used. Next one is very important topic, that is research process. The research process consists of series of action sequences that necessary to effectively carry out certain desired sequences of these steps. The chart shown in figure will illustrate the research process in a better way. Here's a chart for you. First of all, you have to define a problem. What type of research problem you are facing. You want to view the literature, its concepts, theories, research findings, and on the basis of those literature review, you're going to formulate a hypothesis for that. Hypothesis means you are going to formulate assumptions on the basis of that, and for that you're going to design a research design. How you can going to do the research? Okay, how your research will look like. On the basis of your research design, you're going to collect the data. You are going to analyze those data and interpret and make the reports on the basis of the data you have collected, what factors are going on. You're dealing with, right? What is a research problem? The term problem means a question or issue that is to be examined. Refers to some difficulty that the researcher is going to face or is facing. How do we know a research problem? Customer complaints, conversation with the company employees, observation of inappropriate behavior or conditions of the firm, deviations. If there's a deviation in your business plan, then definitely there's a problem. Why this problem is generating is there. success of the firm's competitors, relevant reading of published materials, company records, and records. Definition of the problem involves two activities: identification and selection of the problem, right? If you're going to define the problem, then we are going to face two types. So first of all, you have to identify the problem, and after that, you have to select that problem. Formulation of the problem. Identify that what type of problem is this, why this is happening. You're going to select one, and you have to find out the alternative best for that. Sources from where you're going to face a problem. What are the sources? Where they are coming? Reading, academic experiences, daily experiences, expertise, consultation, brainstorming, research, interviews, right? These are the experiences, these are the sources from where the problems are being generated. Next one is criteria of selection. The selection of one appropriate researchable problem out of the identified problems requires the evaluation of those alternatives. How you're going to select that criteria of the research problem. They're going to do the interpersonal criteria, follow the interpersonal researchers' competencies, their experience. External criteria factors क्या है? Ability of the problem, thought insurgency, kind novelty of the problem, feasibility, utility, use for measures, these are the basic things. Definition, we are going to define the research problem. Formulation is the process of defining research ideas into research questions, objectives. Formulation is translating and transforming the selected research problem into a scientifically researchable questions. Problem definition of problem statement is a clear, precise, and sufficient statement of the question or issue that is to be investigated with the goal of finding an answer to a solution. Two sides of stating a problem. Posting questions, right? Making declarative statements. What is the basic process that is involved in how you can define a problem? First of all, you have to get a statement of a problem in a general way, understanding the nature of problem, what type of the problem is this. So, surveying the available literature, developing ideas for discussions, rephrasing the research problem. Criteria for good research problem: clear and unambiguous, empirical, verifiable, interesting, novel and original, availability of guidance. Complete guidance should be given by the researcher. Here you can define the problem, and there's a chart in front of you from where you can get the clear picture the problem definition. First one is symptom detection. We are going to detect the symptoms that you are facing that kind of problem. Analyze, keep doing the analysis of the situation. You have identified the problem now. Now get the research objectives for that. Establishment of research objective means why you're going to do the research. What are your basic objectives of doing the research? It should be complete in order. The objective refers to questions to be answered through the study that indicate what we are trying to get from the study or expected results. Should be clear and achievable. Objectives will be specified in the form of either statements or questions. Generally, they are written as statements using the word to discover that you have determined this in this way. This is a basic objective of research. Next one is very important topic: literature review. Literature review is a documentation of a comprehensive review of the published and unpublished work that you have published, the material you have published, right? Unpublished is not yet published, but you have any the detail of that. Which can be sources of data in the area of specific interest to the researcher. Main aim of it is to find out the problem they have already investigated, tools that are needed for the investigation. It's an extensive survey of all available past studies. It gives you the knowledge about what others have found out, right? Basically, literature means when you're going to review the literature of other persons, it's focused on secondary sources, right? Purpose क्या है इस review का? To gain a background knowledge of such topic, identifying the concept relating to the problem, identifying appropriate methodology, technology, design, methods of measuring concepts and techniques of analysis, identify data sources used by the researcher, learn how others structure their reports. How you're going to conduct a literature survey? You have to first of all you have to identify the relevant sources. Start to record the relevant information. We are going to get the required information out of the literature view, the source, what are the sources of literature view, books and journals, published materials, abstract databases, government industry records, internet research, dissertations, research, recording the literature. Most suitable method of recording notes is the card system, right? Source cards, notes. So this is the basic method from where you can go into record literature, right? Source cards are the serve to purposes documenting information of footnotes. and compiling them. These are coded by a simple system. We can say these are the coded system where you get the each and everything, then where the data has been taken. Source means from where the data you have taken, author name, what type of book is this, author name, going to the title of the book, place of publication, publisher name. So, for example, Jones Harrow 1980 management new revenue like the internet. These are the source cards that depicts on where the you have taken that particular problem, that particular data for the research. Note cards means detailed information extracted from printed source. नोट कार्ड्स होते हैं जो आपको एक डिटेल्ड इंफॉर्मेशन मिलती है प्रिंटेड कार्ड्स की फॉर्मेशन में मिलती है कैसे लिखते रहिए there are several ways presenting the ideas of what is within the body of the paper. The referring which intention factors in the shifts model of industrial buying behavior, where you can see that the particular person has followed the note card in a better way, right? Some models of industrial buying behavior, a number of intention factors like some methods of industrial buying, a number of intention factors, right? Thank you so much.